men have held a central role in the military. The first large-scale involvement of women with the military was through Victory Gardens. These gardens not only provided food for the soldiers, but seeds and pits were burned for use as charcoal and filtering gas masks. During World War II, the involvement of women took off. With most of the men at war, women built the planes and tanks, and also worked excessively as nurses. However, it was only until 2013 that women were allowed to fight alongside men, due to a court case implemented by Secretary of Defense Leon Panetta. With this sudden integration, as with all sudden integration, there was a pushback with the originally segregated group. Do you agree that women should be able to fight alongside men in the United States military?
Well, I don't mind women fighting in the military, but fighting alongside men is another matter. I mean, men are just naturally stronger than women, and so a woman fighting alongside a man, that you run the risk of them slowing the men down. And in war, that's life or death. You can't take risks like that.
Do you believe that women deserve a place in the military, or should the military be exclusively for men?
Well, like I said before, I don't think women should fight alongside men in the military. But when it comes down to brass tacks, it's their homes and their families that are at risk. So they deserve the right to defend them just like men.
So, if you want women defending our country, but you don't want them fighting alongside men, how would you organize the military?
Well, with the case of segregation, the United States used to have segregation, and one of the issues, aside from the horrible inequalities of it, was the fact that we had to create two of everything, two libraries, two schools, and it was just a mess. And so I feel like complete segregation in the military would lead to similar issues, which is why I feel like higher ranks should be should cooperate more with women in our armed forces than the lower ranks. And I'll leave the specifics to the eggheads to argue about, or my ranking officers, but that is how I feel about it.
How long did you serve in the military?
Well, I served for 7 years.
Did you witness any mistreatment of women in your time in the military?
Well, in my 7 years that I was serving, I never witnessed any abuse or any mistreatment of women. I feel like it's mostly a spin put on small, insignificant occurrences by the media.
Contrary to the sergeant's experience, the rate of sexual abuse on women drastically increased even before the combat regiments were fully integrated in 2013. This pie chart indicates the significant increase in sexual assault charges even before the full combat integration in 2013. Although the graph makes it seem equal between genders, 1 in 5 soldiers is actually a woman, meaning women are sexually assaulted 5 times more than men in the United States military. This graph shows the even more drastic increase in sexual abuse charges, including actual combat integration in 2013.
When this incident took place while you were in college, just a couple of weeks before graduation, did you report it?
Well, initially I intended on reporting it. The next day after it happened, I went to my ROTC commander, again with the intent of telling him what had happened. And instead, I went to his office and just broke down and cried in front of him and told him I didn't want to be a Marine. I didn't think I could be a Marine anymore. And it was like having been raped by my brother and trying to report it to my father. I mean, that was, if I had to put it in a metaphorical context, that was what it felt like. It was such an intimate situation, and so finding those words to say that to someone who's like a father to you is nearly impossible.
The sexual abuse of women in the United States military is clearly evident. The most effective course of action is to contact your local representative, either through phone call or written letter, and urge them to defend the women who put their lives on the line for us.